Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Winter is blooming, bitches. It is the Penny Bloom Podcast, a Game of Thrones rewatch pod here for Winter is Blooming. It's week 2, episode 2. I'm so very excited to jump into season 1, episode 2 of Game of Thrones with my boys here. I am Colton Robertson, and as always, I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And for the first time on this Game of Thrones rewatch, first of many appearances on the Game of Thrones rewatch now, the Penny to my Bloom has returned. It's Tavarus Pennington. What's up, homie?
Hey, happy to be here. Great to be back. Finally found some time.
Pleasure to have you. It's been a minute. I did the math. This will be 57 episodes since your last appearance.
Oh, goodness, that's a hiatus if there ever was one, huh?
It was indeed. And even a greater hiatus because that was an episode we recorded in advance. So it was like 2 months prior to that being put out that we recorded with each other last. So It's been a while. I'm glad to have you back, especially since we're talking Game of Thrones, as I broke down for the people last week on the first installment of Winter is Blooming. We got a long history with Game of Thrones here on the podcast.
We do. Well, you know what the first episode was.
Yes, indeed. A deep dive into Game of Thrones. We specifically created this podcast with reviewing Game of Thrones in its entirety in mind on that first episode.
And I remember coming to that conversation, like wanting to defend the last season, and then like by the end of it being like, maybe everyone is right.
Yeah, maybe they did fuck up a little bit there. So that was we've talked Game of Thrones since a couple of times. Me and you have done our random episodes where we're like, let's talk about the best episodes of TV of all time. And naturally, Game of Thrones gets brought up into that discussion quite a bit. I am going to ask, since me and Joe kind of went over it last week, since it was the kicking off of this thing. Well, first, did you watch House of the Dragon? Most recently?
Of course. How could you miss House of the Dragon?
Fuck yeah. How'd you feel about that?
Really good. That was certainly a highlight of my week as it was coming out, and went by incredibly fast, but it provided an opportunity, I think, to reimagine the Game of Thrones universe in the way that I think people have already been talking about it based off the books, which is just this vast this vast timeline, this vast universe of Game of Thrones type shit.
No, and that story spans 26 fucking years in season 1.
Yeah.
Which is
it's ambitious, but
there's
the trademark
a
of the
jump
series.
in the middle of that season between episodes 5 and 6 that is 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even quite sure Game of Thrones covers 10 years.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that was the thing. George R. R. Martin did an interview for Penguin Random House, the publisher, and he was asking the interviewer on there, who's another fantasy writer, and he's like, "What did you think about one, the time skips, and two, what was it? I forgot what the secondary thing was. What was there were the two things that most people were upset about. Was it like the pacing? I think it was just like the pacing and the time skips.
Yeah, it was the fact that nobody was getting the due and proper. A lot of people felt was
like some characters didn't have the time they needed. And from that discussion, it seemed like those were really big things that George R. R. Martin himself was pushing. Like it seemed like the writers were more like, this is incredibly fast. Like no one is used to this pace. Did you hear that?
I did.
No one is used to this pace, but he seemed like he was like really pushing hard for that, just to like, I think, try to capture the scope of what he was trying to write with those books.
Yeah, no, and I think mission was accomplished, and but one thing you lose in that grand scope of things like that is an episode like this one that we're about to cover today. Season 1,
Very
episode
slow.
2, The Kingsroad, written by D&D, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, and directed again by Timmy Van Patten, TVP, baby. He's
I feel like this episode is a perfect example of the two different types of Game of Thrones fans. Because for, unheard reasons that people don't know, like why Trenton didn't want to come on this podcast. This is a boring episode to him, which is very interesting. I mean, it is
Really?
a fair point of view to have if you are in the show for the reasons of the action and the crazy mind blow, whatever. Like for what you get in the show for, I'm not gonna gripe for, but to say that this is a bad episode of television is where I draw the line. But if you're not into it, then okay, whatever. But like this is the stuff that I the world building, all the little details between characters and stuff that really makes you fall in love with the characters more. And obviously I love all the action and crazy stuff too. So it's like the cherry on top whenever it comes around to it.
And this is one of those episodes that takes a particularly different meaning after you've seen the later seasons.
Woo!
We'll talk about your mother when I get back. When we see each other again, we'll talk about your mom. Well, I guess you were standing at his gravestone whenever you learned who your mom was. You know? Shit like that. That's, he was standing next to Ned Stark whenever Samwell was like, your mother was Lyanna, your father was Rhaegar.
Okay. And was that the first time that Jon visited Ned there? Because that'd be nuts if it was the first. No. That's nuts.
No, probably not the first. He'd been in Winterfell for a while. I can't imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, but still. Nevertheless, it was very, very cool. And that was one thing particularly that stuck out to me through watching this episode was I'm going to keep looking out for it. A lot of times when Jon's mom comes up, the natural next discussion, naturally because everyone thinks he killed her, Rhaegar Targaryen comes up, and then we start talking about Lyanna very, very quickly after.
Wow,
like,
that's sick.
It happened in this episode whenever Robert's like, and what was the name of that one woman that your bastard's mother? He says like he goes, the name was like Alina that he throws out. Which is just a little too close to Lyanna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't catch that, huh?
Yeah, like that's some interesting shit, you know. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in this episode in particular. So, are we ready for a little bit of a scene by scene breakdown?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, we begin this episode in the Dothraki Sea. With the whole Khalasar being led by Drogo, they've departed Pentos and are heading east. They're traveling away from the free cities into the Dothraki Sea, and these the imagery here has always been very beautiful to me. Like all the grass for as far as the eyes can see and stuff. Like one thing I've always loved about Game of Thrones is that they're shooting on location. Wherever you see the environment, they typically either visually augmented a real environment or built the entire environment from scratch, which is just like, so this grass for as far as the eyes can see. I've always loved this imagery.
They were doing that on the smallest scale they ever did during season 1.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Like the only times that we even see King's Landing at large, like was in that very first episode, the first time we see it. It's like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're making their way through, and they're being accompanied by Viserys, naturally, that little prick, who is he's
such a shame to the name Viserys.
Such a shame to it.
Man, this sucks.
I mean, we got Viserys the old, the peaceful, the peaceful Viserys.
Ooh, what would people call this one? Viserys the Unknown. Slam dunk! Boom! Yeah, he sucks. No one knows him. No one fucking cares that he's even alive.
You
Fuck
fucking
you.
suck. Nobody gives a shit.
Even the guy that's like, I forget his name. The guy that's like, yeah, you are the true king, and I can't wait for you to reign. Like, even him, like the kind of guy that's
Ilario.
Yeah, that guy. Even him, he's like, doesn't really seem that he likes Viserys at all, like whatsoever.
No.
So, which is just hilarious. So, yeah. Viserys, the irrelevant, may be even better.
That's spot on.
Yeah,
that's spot on. But his plans to stick with Drogo until, like he was offered some stay back at Illyrio's place. Like, go ahead, hang back. They'll be back. They'll come around. Like last episode, like Illyrio said, like, yeah, we'll they'll come around when they come around, man. Like, this is up to them. At this point, you can't do shit about it. But he was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna stick with Drogo until he decides we're riding west. He's gonna stick by his side until he gets his crown fit for a king.
He'll get it,
and he will get it.
He'll get it. That is indeed
for a king. But yeah, Jorah was like, "You should have hung back, bro." And he tells Viserys that he didn't mean to offend him, and Viserys is like, "Oh yeah. So tell me why the fuck you out here? What's going on with that, Sir Jorah Mormont? What's that, huh?" And he's like, good old Nettie Stark. I was gonna get, he said I was selling people. Ugh.
Whoopsies, as you do, I guess. Or what was the wording? Was it like, were you trying to buy, and then he was like selling or something like that?
Yeah, he was like were you trying to procure or something like that? I can't remember exactly what the word choice was, but yeah, he was like, were you trying to buy people? And he was like, no, I was selling them. I was selling poachers who were found on my land. Fucking Jorah Mormont. He's voice.
He's just lacks principle, I feel like.
And
I think he sees a very cool character development due to his odd, attachment to Daenerys. Everything is so that he can be good enough to serve as her knight. He comes around. It does take a while though, because
it takes a bit. Yeah,
it takes a bit. It takes a bit to get used to him, but
yeah, he does just seem very just like not easily likable. And like, not that he's unlikable, but he's not easily likable.
He's nice. He's like a nice guy now.
Yeah,
he acts nice and he acts like honorable, I guess, now. Like, he's very, I guess, to his word, he's honorable now. But yeah, it's just that thing that lingers with him. They're just like, I don't know, man.
The fact that Viserys is like, oh, that sucks, bro. Whenever I'm king, you ain't got to worry about shit like that. You'll be just fine. You could
makes
sell
you just hate Viserys even more.
Yeah, he's just such a big piece of shit. And
yeah,
Ned's plan was to murder Jorah. You got to do what you got to do. It's the king's justice. And their way is the old way. He who passes.
Ned was a little savage sometimes. Ned was like, I'm gonna be compassionate, but
hey, man, sometimes I got to do the thing. You come around this way, you will get clapped.
Hey, that was a clean beheading, episode 1. He's done that a time or two. He's
got that heavy ass sword. It better go through the neck, bro.
That's true.
Right, which this episode, this moment doesn't come till much later, but Ned's beheading and how that mirrors Robb Stark and Lord Karstark later on is really interesting to me.
Well, I mean, like the amount of beheadings we see there too, like remember Theon's of Sir Roderick?
Theon, God.
Ooh.
That doesn't go exactly as planned.
Theon's got to be one of the most troubling characters in fantasy ever. Like, as a reader, you have to have such a complex feeling about Theon.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. And what's really interesting to me is like kind of being reminded how much time they let us sit with like these truly main characters, and these characters who we come to know as extraordinarily important really are just kind of there for now, like even Jon to a degree. The only reason we're projecting like importance onto his story is because we know how important he is. I remember the first time I watched this, just going like, I don't really give a shit what's going on with John right now. Like show me some other shit.
He's literally just a bastard son. He's a nice guy. I wasn't ever hating him, but it was just kind of like.
But I remember
he just
being
didn't
like,
seem important.
Watch,
yeah,
poof, that sounds like it fucking blows. He's going off to live without wife or kids forever. How's this guy ever going to be important?
Yeah.
When,
he has no name. He's not important.
Yeah, Snow. Fuck this guy. No. But nevertheless, Viserys is like, you won't have to go through shit like that under my reign, and Daenerys is nearby. Finding her adaptation to the role of Khaleesi, a bit of a struggle. You know,
whenever she gets off her horse and
yeah.
Like what? Why are her hands?
They've been riding. She's holding on to them reins, bro.
Is it the ride that is why she is so?
Yes, it's the amount of time they've spent on horseback. In the book, they actually go into like it's not just her hands. It's like her thighs, her back, like her ass. Like,
okay, I thought it was like they were trying to say that her and Khal Drogo's concept, that is what is causing her to. I don't. At least that's why I was hoping it was not. I was hoping that it was the ride of the long ride. Okay, I'm very glad that.
Yeah, they take some interesting leaps with this storyline as compared to the book. And I was glad to find out that it was book accurate, but they went a little further than the book took it, and we'll get there when we get there. But we do see for the first time since last episode, her fear whenever Drogo comes to bed, and it's not going well. It's not going well, but Jorah offers her some solace and is like, it will get easier. Like, you'll have to deal with some shit, but it will get easier.
At least, I guess, at least he's some form of a comforting voice for Daenerys, At least if Jorah's whatever, at least he's some form of comfort for Daenerys right now. Because she doesn't really have anybody.
And that's why she keeps him around for so fucking long.
Yeah, because she doesn't have anybody.
When she has nobody, Jorah's the only one who's there for her. Like he's trying to hold it down. He's trying to be nice. And that's why it hurts so much whenever she finds out that in a time like this, he was still working for Varys and stuff. He was reporting back. Which is another interesting thing to think about him right now is that, when Robert receives this letter later on about Daenerys being alive, it's Jorah who reported that.
Mm-hmm.
It's Jorah who told them that she wed a Dothraki horse lord.
Oh no!
Yeah, that man Varys was deep. Like I don't know how they did it.
He was out here.
Man was deep. That's why I'm very interested to see how what's his name from the House of the Dragon,
Larys,
like how his role develops. Because he seems kind of be a early iteration of that role.
Yeah, that and Littlefinger, a little bit of a mixture there. But
what if the lineage it's split, and on one side you have Littlefinger, and on the other side you have Varys, and they both, but Varys and Littlefinger are not related, but they do somehow, like by marriage, somehow go up to
some sort of connection
to Larys.
That'd be nuts. But Drogo's been having fun lately, getting fucked up with the boys, the warriors. And whenever he's done, he's like, I'm heading to bed. What's up, Danny? Turn around. And it's hard. It's hard to watch. He takes her from behind and she is visibly in pain. Very, very massively uncomfortable. And the only thing in this moment that can bring her any solace is the sight of her dragon eggs. She even smiles a little bit at the sight of the dragon eggs. And I was like, I thought that was an interesting choice. And it was a great just acting scene from Emilia Clarke to be going through something like that on set. That's probably a degree degrading.
What do they actually do there? You know,
I couldn't tell you, but I do
like, 'cause
know.
obviously,
Yeah, obviously
they're not really fucking. Okay, like, obviously, but like, he's naked, and unless there's just like something that like just like tapes it, you know, like under, I don't know, and he's just dry humping, you know, is that like what's happening?
It's
You know?
it's something like that. This would
think
probably be solved with a simple Google, you know. And
think
I've
it's like a
often
pocket.
thought about it, but the mystery has always plagued me. You know what I'm saying? I've always wondered. One of the best things from behind the scenes that I've learned about this is that Jason Momoa was massively disappointed with the way Emilia Clarke got treated during these scenes early on, and he was one of the only people who seemed to really be looking out for her. In between takes, he would yell at people to do everything they could to make her comfortable right now. Like he was getting he was very, very fierce in his defense of her during the time off camera here.
Okay. It is basically what I guessed. They wear a penis sock. At least that's what it's called in the industry.
At least
and it is basically a dry hump, is what they say. But yes, it is them both for real, just dry hump and no face replacement, anything. It's just
How much
that's
shit
how it
do
happened.
you need for those scenes? Like, god damn.
I hope a lot.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great, especially since Danny is having a real rough time here, and later on, an increasingly curious Daenerys. And one thing I'm not like a huge fan of in the difference between the books and this is that she's still there are things about the Dothraki lifestyle that by this point she's come to enjoy in the books. She enjoys the riding, she enjoys the being out in the grass, she enjoys the time she spends with her handmaidens and stuff. She is still a little hesitant on the Drogo stuff, but apparently this part is book accurate, which I did not know. They're talking about the herd of dragons potentially surviving out east, and they're like, no, the dragons are dead. It is known. But then Doria, she tells her an old story about how there used to be 2 moons, and one wandered too close to the sun and cracked like an egg, spilling out a thousand dragons into the world. And the other Dothraki woman says, the moon is no egg, Khaleesi. The moon is goddess, wife of sun. It is known.
It is known.
It is known.
I have spoken almost, right. Kind of the same thing is like, but not even like that. It's not even like I have spoken. It's like, it is just known. This is fact. Known. Everyone agrees with this. It is known.
Which is part of what makes it, what's so funny is that this is a comedic scene. It's not it's not one that, the first time I'm watching it, I don't really take it as funny, but coming to know Game of Thrones humor and what they do, like how they make moments light, this chick in the corner only chiming in whenever something is known is pretty fucking funny. She's like, it is known.
Yep.
It is known. Absolutely love that shit. Close to being my favorite line of the episode. It is known.
Okay.
So it's amongst the faves. Yeah, so Danny's she's like, oh, that's a fun idea. I kind of like that. But then she's like, hey, Doria, so what happened when you was at the pleasure house all those years ago? Oh, well, I trained. I had to learn first. Bunch of learning. I got sold when I was 9, but I didn't do nothing till I was 12. Sorry.
And then she was like, is it going to take me that long to learn, too?
Said, no, we'll have one lesson and you're set, boo.
Yeah.
Do these 5 simple tricks and you'll never look back. Let me give you the crash course real quick.
It's a little pop-up ad on the side. But she's like, all right, do you think you could teach me? Now, this is where the differences between the book and this part of the storyline kind of differ, Not only does this part of the book take place like well after the end of what episode 2 is, Bran waking up in the book, like in the audiobook, it's like a good near 2 hours later. So like they take just a big break from Daenerys' storyline. You can tell that the reason it's here is because the pacing of the stories, they wanted to line up a little better, so it just made sense to plug Emilia Clarke's Daenerys storyline in wherever they saw fit. And now the difference here is that there's not a whole bit of the book spent on the actual instruction of Daenerys. There's not a part of the book where they were like, Doria mounts Daenerys and swivels her hips and there wasn't nothing like that in the book. It was just heavily implied. She goes, "Hey, Doria, will you hang back for a second? All right, cool." And then we cut to Drogo entering the hut that night and her being like, "No, tonight I will look upon your face." And then she's like, "And I try to recall what Doria taught me." And that's like the only mention of it. So like it was a little masturbatory to take it here.
Yeah, they were like, okay, it is book accurate and we have Emilia Clarke and another hot actress. And the directors were like, okay. Like it was literally just like it was
almost 15 years ago filming stuff,
Yeah. Like that's just rough. But it's sad that like someone could like I see someone defending it being like, no, it's totally book accurate though. And I fully stand behind the scene, and it's actually one of my favorites of the season. Actually, like I see people like actually like no, maybe not going that far, but yeah,
no, I guarantee you. I don't want to I don't want to throw Trenton under the bus, but if he was here, he'd be defending this scene right now. But yeah, no. She tells the story of the woman who was the woman from Lys who could finish a man just by looking at him, and Daenerys is like, "Oh, finish a man? What's that?" Oh,
yeah. Well, she's like 12.
Yeah. No. In the book, what's crazy is in the book she's like 14 or something like that. In the show she's 17, so that. A little
is
better
that where they
there.
have her at the show? Okay.
But has she? So. The thing is that like in her mind, she was thinking. Was she thinking that she was gonna marry Viserys the whole time, and
Pretty
then?
much.
So like, did she ever?
No, I don't think so. I think that was kind of part of the part of the sell. To Drogo was like she's an untouched Targaryen, like stuff like that. They maintained the quote purity, if you will. But yeah, this was it was an interesting scene. I thought it was bold to put it in there, but
they were doing a lot of bold things season 1.
They were going for it. They were really going for it. And that like just the like what's that? Oh, like that's not. There's nothing even attempted like that in the book, like that's just a dude who was like, what's something weird she could not know about? Dude's coming.
Yeah. Well, I'd say the show gets somewhat better about these things.
I'd say it certainly does. But the level of respect with which women are treated within storylines in this and in House of the Dragon, it'll be interesting to see sort of the evolution as we progress forward. But nevertheless, this night, Daenerys puts the plan into action. She Drogo walks in, he drops trowel, he's like, "All right, bring it on over." And she's like, "No." And he's like, yeah. And she's like, "No, tonight I will look upon your face." And he's like,
Did he understand that?
He's like, is that a thing you can do?
But is
that possible?
Can he understand English?
That's a good question. I think it's more body language and the way she was acting. Like,
okay, yeah. So we got the idea.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like, oh, like what's funny is like
maybe I'm into this.
Is, like,
yes.
I don't think it's like, oh, I'm just absolutely opposed to this. That's why I've never done it. I straight up don't think he knew it was possible to have sex with a woman like this. I think he laid down and was like, oh, wait a minute. Holy shit. Did I just unlock a new level? Like, I think, I think that's kind of more what he's going through, you know? But yeah, he's very clearly responsive to this. And one thing I thought was interesting about the book's take on this, as compared to this, they at the end of this scene, Drogo yells Dany's name. So like she really dominated the interaction.
And I just watched this. She speaks Dothraki, saying, "Tonight I will look upon your face." So she actually like.
He didn't. Yeah.
It wasn't English, so he did fully like.
Sometimes I can't remember what's in Dothraki and what's in English.
Honestly,
You know?
I had a lot of stuff.
But still, I agree with your take on he unlocked a new level, because like that is his reaction still, even though she did say that. He's
like confused almost.
He's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And he's like, oh, I don't have to do anything? Wait a minute. And yeah, he's like, no, I totally agree. You're right there, but
that's hilarious. No, but like that's all Dany's storyline is this episode is like getting accustomed to Dothraki and figuring out how to please Drogo.
That's
rough. Now we're here.
Started from the bottom. Anyhoozle, let's head to the north. This is where we finally come back to the Starks, where Bran is lying in a coma, and he's not doing well. His mother's by his side, and Michelle Farrelly in this episode. Since we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and declare my favorite performance. Michelle Farrelly as Catelyn Stark is nuts in this one.
Yeah.
She's absolutely incredible, and she's like very, very instantly incredible in this episode as she sits there and, you know, tears right next to Bran. Basically the entire episode, the way she flashes the anger at Jon later on, and those wolves, I can't stand it. Make them stop. You know, that shit. Like I fucking love that scene. And this will not be the last time she gets that nod. I think, especially on this rewatch, I'll get to appreciate her performance on a level I've never appreciated it before, because I'm not typically thinking about these things when I'm just casually rewatching like favorite performance and favorite scene and favorite character and such. But Michelle Farrelly dominates shit a lot of the time. She's incredible.
That's tough. That's going to be a tough performance to beat. I know we like to, you know, spread the love here, but that's probably the definite. Like I don't think there's a performance that does. I don't know. I can't.
There are just no other option. Like you just got to go. Okay, yeah, that was just far and away the best performance of the episode. The only other one that I can think maybe gives it a run for its money is Emilia. Emilia Clarke did really well up in Dothraki, but like beyond that, I don't know. Kit Harington gets to shine a little bit for the first time, I think, in comparison to the first episode. But
I guess I'll wait on the performance then. I'll wait just and see when we get through the other storylines and see if anybody's worthy enough to take Michelle fairly off the throne.
But Tyrion Lannister wakes up in the doghouse. And Joffrey gives him a little bit of shit. Finer bitches than you're used to, father or uncle. Tyrion's like, oh, shut the fuck up. How about you go pay your respects to Lord and Lady Stark? Your absence has been noted. And Joffrey's like, dude, I couldn't give less of a shit about that dude. No fucking way, man. Tyrion goes ahead, slaps him once. Joffrey's like, you dare touch me? Bow. Slaps him again. He's like, he said one more word and you're getting the shit slapped out of you. He says one more word and therein he gets slapped a third time. And finally he accepts the suggestion. You just love to watch Joffrey just suffer.
Yeah.
I love Joffrey getting bitched. because this kid is a bitch, dude. He is
And
so
he's a
hard.
bitch. Even when he's king, and like he's just so dumb that he doesn't realize it most of the time. But like it's especially good for Tyrion to just be like, wait a second, you have zero authority.
Yeah, like you're such a pussy that you straight up won't do anything about it. And the Hound's like, he'll remember that, little lord. And he's like, he fucking better. And if he forgets, remind him, dog.
Yeah. No, I think if the Hound puts a hand on Joffrey, it goes a little differently.
Yeah, well, I mean, like later on, he would have been like. I think there's a point in this show where he's like, "God, I wish I would have killed Joffrey," just because he grows to despise that kid so fucking much. But Tyrion therein heads to breakfast with the rest of his family. He requests a dark beer and bacon burnt black, which that sounds like a breakfast, huh?
Yum, yum. I love how he's actually like super chill with the kids. He's like the only one who like cares about him. You know,
I love, and they love him too. You know, like they're like the only people who don't look at Tyrion and go like, "Oh, the imp." You know, like that's Uncle Tyrion. You know, it's all they've ever known him as. Like, fuck it. You know, it's not some thing they're like, "Oh, I'd never seen that before." They've seen him their entire fucking life. You know, so I love that they treat him very nicely, and he treats them even better. But yeah, I loved this scene, and he's got the breakfast of champions there for him, and he's like, "All right, so I'm going north. I'm going to see the wall. Apparently, it's marvelous, the greatest structure ever built by man." And then I'm a head back, and they're like, "Don't tell me you're thinking of taking the black, Tyrion." And he's like, "Oh, and go celibate? The whores would go fucking nuts."
Legend, dude. Yeah, dude's a legend. Maybe that's the line of the episode.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's obviously not the whores will go fucking nuts.
Yeah. But honestly, not very far from what could be happening in a Game of Thrones episode.
No, not for real. Not for real. He basically says that. I know he doesn't, but like it's essential. And go celibate, the whores would go begging from Dorne to Casterly Rock. No, I just want to stand on the top of the wall and piss off the edge of the world.
Just said it in Game of Thrones.
Yep, just say it in Game of Thrones language. But yeah, that's a great fucking line. And there you go. Another one who could be considered here is Peter Dinklage. He's just always fantastic. He's always on as Tyrion. So hard to not go with him. But
that was my thinking. This is kind of a quintessential Tyrion episode in terms of who Tyrion was as a character before he goes through most of the Shay stuff. That's kind of the big turning point for his character. I think is the storyline with Shay.
Well, Shay and getting like his father being willing to put him to death and stuff over.
Yeah.
Like there's a few things going on there, but
they really tied that all in really well, though. Like,
it was so fucking well. I cannot wait till we get there, man. That's so goddamn good. But I'm gonna go ahead. If y'all ain't going to declare it, I think my favorite character of the episode is Tyrion Lannister.
Okay,
he's fantastic this week. And for all the reasons Tavarus was saying, this is a quintessential Tyrion episode. I remember specifically last week going into this episode, it's been a little bit since I rewatched the show, but the thing I remember about episode 2 is Jon and Tyrion's discussion about why do you read so much? That's what I remembered about this episode. And Ned having to kill a dog, which really blows, but
that does suck. Man, I hate that. Anytime, like I Am Legend, anytime God, it just sucks every time.
It does.
But man, you taking Tyrion, I might want to as well. That's who my gut was for character this episode. As of right now, we might be lining up both.
Well, I think it's just that kind of episode. Every once in a while, there's an episode where the best character stands out so clearly, the best performance stands out so clearly, and like I think I think this is, how in the books there's like chapters that are narratively told from different people's perspectives.
Mhm.
Every single moment we're spending with Tyrion, those moments are told from Tyrion's perspective. Like you watch and identify with him, and he's just fantastic. But he also informs them, because the kids are real worried about it. Is Bran gonna live? And he's like, yeah, the Maester Luwin seems to think so. The time of the worst possibilities is gone. He'll probably wake up one day.
I really wonder the reliability of like these maesters and stuff, because sometimes they be saying things, and I'm like, now how could they know that? Like, what?
Well, that's their job, though. They just know all the history. They read, and they're like, well, whenever this guy had some black marking on his back, they did this, and it fucking worked. So I think that's literally like that is a maester's job, is to be like, all right, that's what they did before. We're gonna carry it on. I might try something new. I don't know. Fuck it. Like, I really think like they're just kind of maybe it's just you're kind of smart and like some medical stuff, so we'll put you as the maester and you could give some good counsel. I guess is like kind of the idea. So they're like I don't know. They kind of do a lot when you think about it.
No, they really hold it down, and like there's always a maester there. There's always some, like, everybody important has a maester on hand. So they know their shit to a degree, but the sort of thing that's interesting is that, like, whenever they were like, yeah, it's gonna be a boy. I mean, like, based off the moon,
it is known.
It's off the moon. There you go.
It is known. It is known.
But so he's like, yeah, Bran's seeming like he's gonna live, and then he like looks at Cersei and Jaime like, bum bum, like, what's that mean to y'all, huh? And like, they did not do well at hiding their disappointment. Like, they looked
not at all.
Like, oh fuck, fuck.
Instantly said,
like,
she instantly said, not good to let a boy live like that in pain, huh? Like, what?
Yeah. And the way he's like, give me a good clean death, I'd rather, he's gonna be a grotesque, like, fuck. And
yeah.
And Tyrion's like, Jesus, dude, chill the fuck out. Wow.
Kid here, damn.
Speaking for the grotesques here, I gotta say, life's a lot better. Just I just really, really like Tyrion in this episode, and
I think
Tyrion like pokes at Jaime here in a second, and Jaime's like, sometimes I wonder whose side you're on. Like, bro.
Yeah.
How about you just shut the fuck up if you got something to hide so bad?
Yeah. Now Tyrion, I feel like he's high on my list for best performance for this episode, or Tyler Dinklage, but I particularly like that line between him and Jaime where he's talking about how he doesn't bet against the Lannisters, against his own family.
I like that, because I gave him the line. I gave him the go celibate, the whores would, go crazy, whatever. I gave him that the line. I gave him that. You gave him the character, Colton. And if Tavarus were to give him the performance, we give him like the trifecta.
Oh yeah, he's getting
it
on all sides.
Be beautiful.
On all sides, but in a liberty taken by the show that is not in the book, Cersei visits Catelyn Stark here. Sitting by her son's side, and she gets real vulnerable with her. It's a brief moment where Cersei seems to be more human than she ever is again, and more human than she's been up to this point. Where, she goes into how her first child died of a fever, a beautiful black-haired boy, and she and Robert were grief-stricken. He punched the wall 1,000 times, all the ways that men show you they care. And he says, or she says her prayers were for naught, but she offers her prayers for Bran's survival, hoping that this time the gods will listen. And I was like, see, now you lost me there. At the very end, it was like, oh, you were seeming real cool for a second, and then you say the shit about Bran, and I'm like, oh yeah, you don't want this kid to wake up.
No, it's because she knows in her head, I'm already plotting to kill this kid. So I'm just telling the mother right before I kill the kid some comforting, something. That's really what this.
I am gonna
really
murder
what this
this
is.
child.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's
like
my plan.
maybe what this really was just to go in the room to see where he was to tell the person who's going to kill him, like, yeah, yo, he's just in a bed. His mother's there. Easy, go up, slit his throat. Like,
yeah, light a fire, slit his throat, chilling. Imagine everything. Every time someone needs something in the Game of Thrones universe done, they're just like, "Hey, man, light a fire, slit his throat. It's done."
Yep,
like
that's
it's kind of all they ever do.
yeah, or lighting the fire is it. That is it as well.
That can't just be it. Laris.
It doesn't have to
very
be the
good
distraction.
example.
Yeah, or the Blackwater Bay.
Yes.
That's a pretty big fire lit there.
mean, the Sept of Baelor, season 6, episode 10.
A lot of Dracarys in there too.
A lot of fire. Fire gets it done a lot of the time. Just this one time, I guess it just didn't do quite what it was supposed to. But it's here that Jon Snow is paying a visit to the blacksmith. He's having a little sword created, and he's paid a visit here by Jaime Lannister, which I thought was an interesting interaction that I didn't really recall. But one, I was like, God, you just don't see these two on. I don't think you see these two on screen together again until like season 8.
Damn.
Like, I think this is.
Yeah, because what would they have done together at all?
No, they wouldn't have done shit. Like, it's when he gets back to Winterfell, Jaime's not there. It's when he comes north to betray Cersei and go, yeah, I'll fight with you. Like, that's the next time they see each other.
Whenever they first come up to each other, they handshake, and it's very focused in on Jaime's hand right there that he loses. Yeah. And the rest of the scene, it like kind of plays on the fact that like, and he literally says like, at the time that he shakes his hand, he's like, "You must be so grateful." Like, and then it pauses, and while it's just on his hand, and then it cuts back into like the rest of the line, like,
right.
Just be like, I don't know, it was so crazy that like the little details that like have no inclination of whatsoever if you're watching it for the first time, but a director or it can be written in just because like, oh yeah, I mean, eventually I know I'm going to cut off this dude's hand, like like if they have the big details lined out first, they can put in all those little things beforehand. And I don't know. I love like, it's been so fun rewatching it, having those pop up.
And the way that this whole interaction goes between Jaime and Jon, the way when he's like, "Have you swung the sword yet?" And he's like, "Of course I have." And he's like, "At someone, I mean." And it's like, it's Jaime just Jaime always has to feel superior, and he did this to Ned last week, like the whole like, "Oh, I guess I'll see you in the tourneys, huh?" And Ned was like, "Nah, bitch, I'll fuck you up outside the tourneys, though. How's that?" And so he's like, "All right, couldn't get the father, maybe I'll get the son." And tells him, "It's a strange thing. First time you cut a man. You realize we're nothing but sacks of meat and blood and some bone to keep it all standing." And then he's like, "Thank you for your service, guarding us from everything north of the wall, the wildlings and White Walkers and whatnot, the good, strong men protecting us." He's like, "We've guarded the realm for 8,000 years. Jaime's like, "Oh, is it we already, homie?" I was like, I gotta give the dub to Jaime for this interaction.
Oh yes. Even if he is a little bitch about it.
He's a dick, but I mean, Jon really doesn't know what he's getting into. He thinks a lot of the Night's Watch is like his Uncle Benjen. And so like he's
I guess he knows though. He like, if he's thinking he's gonna be like Uncle Benjen, he knows Uncle Benjen still can't marry, and he knows all that stuff, right?
No, he knows that, but Benjen's a good dude. I think it's more the people he's gonna be with. That it's
so the only person that Jon knows of the Night's Watch is Uncle Benjen. So he thinks everyone is like that.
He just thinks went there, at least as far as I know. I don't know if he got locked up for something and they were like, "Go to the wall." But yeah, like whenever they're on the road here, this whole episode is him just kind of realizing every time he gets left alone for a second, it's him going, "Oh fuck, did I do the right thing here?" It's just like every single time you look at him for a second. After this interaction, he's like,
poor Jon. Only if he knew, man.
Oh,
What do you
Johnny
think?
boy.
Yeah, what do you think he does if he knows now? If Ned told him now, like actually, that's a big what if.
That is a big what if. I think, you know what I think he does?
Still goes
Well,
and takes
shit.
the oath and doesn't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Well, shit. Now I have to go north. You know, like, I don't think it's so much like, oh, well, I can't. I think it's more like, oh, that just made my decision for me, bro. I do not want that. I think that would kind of be it. But, yeah, it was a good scene there between those two. But, after it, John gets to take the sword that was created here and take it to his little sister. And this is my favorite scene of the episode. Arya and John's goodbye, because again, they don't have a scene on screen together again until season 7.
Jeez.
Dang. Oh my god.
It might
That's
even be
nuts.
the season 8 premiere.
Oh my god.
Some
That's
real
ridiculous.
to be had here.
It's just not okay. Knowing that now that I have to watch all of it. You know, like I didn't know that before.
Yeah, like
So
you will
then-
never see John and Arya on screen again until we are almost done with the show.
So tragic what they did to the Starks.
Bro, like they are never, this is it. They are never in the same place again.
Damn. This
All of
really
them
is
are spread
the
out
jumping off
permanently.
point. Yeah, you're right. That there's no better jumping off point than when they're all together and then bang, split up across the realm, storylines everywhere.
But yeah, I just loved the scene between Arya and John, the way that like she was like, I was afraid you'd gone, and she like jumps into his arms and they hug for a second, and then he's like, I've got a present for you, and he's like, shut the door, and she runs over there, she like peeks outside, she's like, what is it? And you know, it's cool that she holds on to Needle. This thing survives the show, baby.
Needle's probably one of the cooler aspects of the show in general, which is, I think, the best line for this episode is, you know, stick 'em with the
pointy end.
There you go. That was one of my favorites. So if you're, I'm gonna give that to you, Tavarus. I got some more, but I was like, stick 'em with the pointy end. If nobody takes it, that's gonna be it, because that's a premier lesson that sticks with Arya forever. She throws it back in a lot of people's faces.
The first moment she does stick him with the pointy end is just so fucking satisfying, because it doesn't come for like another 2-3 seasons. So like that, I just actually recently saw that one too, and like it's only like really 30 seconds when the Hound is just whooping ass, and then Arya sees her window, and she just starts going crazy, and they play this little music. It's perfect.
Well, there's also, I can't remember if it's season 2 or the end of season 1 when she semi-accidentally kills a kid. She stabs him like in the chest or like in the stomach area.
Uh-huh.
Am I misremembering that?
I think that might have happened earlier on before she had Needle taken. Because you remember she has Needle taken.
Oh.
And then she gets it back during that scene where she, you know.
Right. Yeah, it goes missing for a while. Damn, that thing goes on a journey.
Yeah. Man, there's so many things about the show that I forgot about. Like, the show just has so much story. That's the thing.
So much that happens.
So much.
But yeah, he gives her the sword. They decide to name it Needle, and this was another funny change from the books for me, just because like he does gift her Needle, and they do have a goodbye, but the line they use to do it is different. Like John in the books is like oh, it's your favorite thing. Like he's like, all swords should have a name, and Arya asks like, oh, what's its name? And he goes, come on now, it's your favorite thing. And they both look at each other and go, Needle. You know, so like I think they handled that better in the show than they did the book. I think it's a good choice for Arya to get to name the sword. I think it was a good line delivery too. Like Sansa can keep her needles. I have a needle of my own. Like I think it's a good one.
It was just a cute moment between John and Arya, you know, just being like, yeah, no, you name the sword. Like I'm gift. This is your gift, you know. Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because he gets a sword that's named. Long Claw is not. He doesn't come up with Long Claw.
Yeah.
It's always the.
Are we playing the episode in the background?
Can you hear it?
That's just me. No,
I was though. That's weird. I was,
okay.
but
it was so
interesting.
faint, but I could. It was like the kind of faint where it was like either I'm going crazy or it's happening. Like there's no in between.
I get you. Yeah, no, I could not hear it. So there's that. But nevertheless,
that's funny. I just because it just felt very. I heard like someone's voice, and I was like, "Wait a second.
Wait a minute." But John's like, be sure you practice as much as you possibly can. You know, it's not worth it for you to just leave it sitting. You know, you got to use this shit. And then after this, John visits Bran to say his farewells, and this was another scene that just made me go, yeah, Michelle Fairley, no fucking doubt, performing her like the just fucking hatred in her eyes, looking at John. Oh my God.
The way that question.
She stares these bullets at him and is just like, get out. Whenever he's leaving and she's like, it should have been you. Like,
yeah, there's no question she gets the performance nod.
Catelyn, she does deserve a performance nod for sure because I feel like she has like, we don't really come to understand the, I guess like how big of a tension it was having John around at this point in season 1. Like, you're just getting introduced to John and Catelyn, and you have no idea the ramifications of what Ned has supposedly done for someone in this world. So it's like it continues to like build on like how evil she was being here and why that's an interesting point for her character.
Oh yeah, you know, like first time I watched this with Emily, you know, I showed Emily this show about a year and a half ago now, and she didn't forgive Ned until it was said, like John's parents are Lyanna and Rhaegar, and Ned hit him. Like she was like, Catelyn's fucking right, bro. Fuck that dude. But she was like, obviously she shouldn't be treating John like that. But like, she was like, I understand why Catelyn's the way she is. And I was like, hey man, respect. It was a lot to hide for me. I was like, ooh-wee, you gon' fucking regret that. I'm gonna tell you that now. You need to appreciate Ned while he's here because he's the only good motherfucker out.
Yeah.
But I guess not knowing though, like Ned is in the wrong. Like knowing, not like if it's the whole truth. If the truth, Ned's in the right. You know, like he's doing.
He is from the viewer's moral perspective, but it was always interesting to me to see that he was held to, like, granted, you know, he was a much better man than most of the men in this show. He was still held to an incredibly higher standard than everyone else, particularly on this issue, because it's like even if this was him, which hopefully you've seen it and you know that it was, I guess.
We marketed this as a rewatch podcast, bro.
There
if
you
you have watched it, get the fuck out of here. Everything's getting connected, bro.
For what he did, in the case that John was his son, was still miles better than what any other lord would have done in Game of Thrones. And it was
100%.
He still got shit on for it, and it was just based on, you know, a matter of perspective.
Well, I guess maybe it's more right to be mad at Ned for leaving and actually accepting Robert's proposal. Like, that's honestly, like, him doing that and, you know, cheating is, like, I bet, like, way easier to be like, oh, yeah, no, Ned's in the wrong. Like,
100%. Like, one of my favorite little passages from the book, and I'll try to remember it off the top of my head. Obviously, I won't get it exactly right, but it's when Catelyn's sitting next to Bran's bed, and she's not only upset that Bran is asleep right here and has been asleep for a month, it's the fact that Ned is choosing to leave. It's the fact that he's choosing to go south. She goes like, and he told me he didn't have a choice, but then he decided to go south, choosing. And I was like
I think there is a line in the episode that they actually say that. Like, Ned's like, I don't have a he's like, I don't have a choice. And she's like, no, you do. That's the thing. You do have a choice. Like, I think so.
Yeah, there's but it was the way it was specifically worded in the book that she was like, he posed it, because it's like the inner monologue, and he had posed it to her that he didn't have a choice, but she thought that he was heading south, therein choosing. Like, he did choose to go south. He did not have to do that, and so there's just a lot weighing on her here, and it has been weighing on her because like I can't remember if it was last episode whenever she was like or this episode of the book. I get it all fucking mixed up whenever I'm reading, watching all of it at the same time. But whenever she's talking to Ned and is like, "Hey man, last time you headed south, you came back with somebody else's kid, bro. Sorry."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's fair.
That happened.
In her mind, yes. Well, I guess it literally though too.
Literally came back with somebody else's kid.
But the line that she actually says to Ned, whenever he's like, I don't have a choice, is she says, that's what men always say when honor calls. And then that's what you tell your families, tell yourselves. Like she has like a big, like
that's
big
a
moment here.
really
like, you
awesome
do have a choice.
line.
Like,
because watching this, this is a bit of a tangent, but watching this, I'm also watching The Sopranos right now. I'm like finally finishing it.
Oh yeah.
And a big part of what I'm realizing with The Sopranos is that like all the men in that show, same as Game of Thrones, they bring these issues on themselves. They 100%. Simply bring, like they take this burden that they feel is that they feel responsible for. That is like truly based in some toxic masculine desire to either protect others or preserve the self or the other, but it's completely a self-placed burden.
Oh, 100%. I always felt that way about Tony Soprano. It was like, bro, you could just like not,
right?
There's like very little just tying you here, you know, like you could stop right now, get the fuck out, and just never think about it again. Like, but that's the thing, man. He feels the duty, feels the obligation.
Yeah.
And it's only coming from himself.
And the thing is, it's usually an obligation to other men. And that's really all it is.
For the family. So for the family. Jesus fucking Christ. That's my Tony Soprano impression.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's perfect.
Fucking Christ.
That's the perfect line to say. To just in a Tony voice. I was trying to think of like, because like you know, whenever you talk in Marlon Brando, like Godfather, you know, you have lines to refer to, but like with Tony Soprano, there's so many lines that like how do you pick one to like kind of sum them up? But like, what you fucking, I can picture the face, everything of that line, everything of that line, I can picture in my head.
The hand waving and everything. Yeah.
My God, he's so great.
It's such a fantastic. Maybe that's what we do fucking next. The Sopranos. A couple years away.
It's the most psychological family drama I've maybe show that I've ever seen. Like it's just so
fucking good. But Annie Hoozle, back in Westeros. Now that we've left New Jersey,
psychological in a different way.
Psychological in a different way, indeed. He departs the room after giving Bran a kiss on the forehead at his stepmom's cold request, and Ned walks in and John walks out, and he's like, "All right, yeah, wow,
that's awkward."
Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Damn, man.
It is.
See you out there, bud. Sorry about that.
Eesh. Yeah, the air was thick there. You could feel it.
Oh yeah, the way she looks at Ned and then looks back at John and is like, all right, now get the fuck out.
Like, God, I hate it's like I hate you for doing it, and I hate you because you are it. And it's like all of that is said with just the look But like honestly, like I don't know if I'm really getting all of that the first time I'm watching this. Is the thing. Like I understand like bastard, like okay, she hates him, like but I don't understand like the full, like full weight. I don't think. I don't know
the full ramifications of it. No, because there's something that we're able to view it with now due to the fact that it is unreasonably placed. You know, like it is reasonable in her mind. We know now that if she'd probably known the truth, maybe some other things happened, but she wouldn't have treated him the way she did. She wouldn't resent Ned the way she does. Like there are a lot of things that would just be different about Catelyn's life if she knew the truth of it.
She maybe wouldn't be so overzealous in defending Rob.
Exactly.
Man, that's a big what if. Yeah, what if Ned tells Catelyn?
Yeah, you just never know how that could go, but he goes ahead and says goodbye to Bran and to Catelyn here. And I think this is the place where she was like, you're fucking on. That's what you always tell everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah.
Indeed.
But
yeah, she definitely, I solidified her as the performance nod for me as well. I couldn't comfortably go with anyone else. And then that was my favorite scene there too. Jon and Ned's goodbye to Catelyn / Bran.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was another one I was considering, was Jon and Ned's actual goodbye later on. Because you never see them again.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good one.
But nevertheless, they head on. We cut back outside where Rob and Jon are saying goodbye to each other, and he's like, don't die while I'm gone. I'll see you again. He's like, you stuck so hard to kill. You're a hard bunch. And they give each other a hug. They're like, brothers. Next time I see you, we'll be in Eternals.
Yeah. They never. Yeah, because Rob just straight up.
Rob dies. Yeah, Rob's dead.
Yeah. They never see each other.
But
again.
that's still a couple seasons away. Still, like, jeez. Forget.
Yeah, that's Eternals. I can't wait till we get there, because like by that point in the show, Rob's like the guy you're rooting for. Like that's one of the things that makes it like just no. What the fuck is that? Like that's like the only thing you're really like. Come on now, The
King of the North. The King. You're screaming in your living room too. Yeah, you're screaming with them. You're like, fuck yeah. You're with even. I don't know what the fuck. The politics, I don't give a shit. I'm just with the King of the North. That's all I know. King of
the North.
Honestly, what's crazy is when I started rewatching it, I thought Rob's reign ends like at the end of season 2. Like that, it felt like like that was like the second progression of that was like it was like the third or fourth. Like it's like down the line. Like that's
down the line.
It's like Rob is a major character.
Just massive. God, it's gonna suck so bad getting there again. But we all depart from Winterfell here. Jon, Tyrion, and Benjen going north of the Wall. Ned, Arya, and Sansa heading south to King's Landing. And at their parting, Ned tells Jon, "You're a Stark. You might not have my name, but you have my blood." He's like, "I'm not even lying to you right now, bruh. You do got my blood. I ain't capping with you.
Not his blood.
You might not have my name. Your name is Targaryen, homie." Like that's just God damn.
He struggled. Like Sean, I don't know. Maybe Sean Bean. No, I don't think he has enough to outweigh Michelle Fairley. But like his delivery of like the next time we see each other, I'll talk about your mother. He was like.
That was my other consideration, was Sean Bean as Ned Stark, because this shit on the Kingsroad, whenever Robert's like, what was her name? And he's like, you never talk about her. And she's like, and I fucking won't. I won't talk about her. Like.
Ooh, no. You know what? I think, because I gave the scene, Jon and Ned's goodbye to Catelyn, for the reason of her performance there, I think I'll give Sean B the nod for this episode, because he actually, like, even later on, like at the end, and like he has a lot more like really great moments.
Whenever he's like, "Is this show ruling? Is this what you want?"
You got to appreciate him while he's there, because not just like there's something interesting about both Ned and Viserys, how they're written into these stories. Viserys from House of the Dragon. They have a voice that literally disappears with their death. A literal understanding, perspective of issues that is just simply gone, like doesn't exist anymore.
They're the only ones with that type of level head on their shoulders, and like them being gone is what collapses the realm into war. Both the House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones season 1, war doesn't start popping off till season 2 here. That's what's crazy about both. That was what was kind of awesome about the parallel between the season ones, is that, season 1 of House of the Dragon is obviously much more long spanning, kind of pre-gaming to that sort of place. But, it did show you just about everything that was important the way this did. You know what I'm saying?
The books that House of the Dragon are based off of go even further than that. They start from Aegon the Conqueror.
Exactly.
And it's somewhat scary to me sometimes, like just to like sit there and think about like George R.R. Martin, like just conceiving of all of this, like just being like, yeah, this happens and then this happens, and then just like then he's got
like just made up a whole history,
and you're like, man, on one level that's crazy, but on another level that's scary, because of the shit that you thought of to put in this world. The shit that is interesting and keeps us coming back is kind of fucked up. Like,
oh no, he be fucked up. He be fucked up as fuck.
Wait, that is interesting. Why did they decide to start so late in the book?
Yeah,
like not with Aegon. Why did they decide to start with
Aegon's
Viserys?
conquering could be a whole other thing.
Yeah, right.
Like they're planning on doing that as well.
I think he wanted the lore. Like, I think George R.R. Martin wanted this to be just this, what it is,
Build the lore for whenever the Sikhs, like whenever it actually drops, you're like, holy shit, now we're getting that too. Like,
yeah. Because another interesting tidbit I learned watching his interviews was he was very experienced in TV production as a fantasy writer way long before he started televising or thinking about televising Game of Thrones.
Right.
So like I think he very much had a mind for how he wanted to lay out his books in a way that would be amicable with a television series, and not just one but multiple, as we are seeing.
Yeah, this man's got it everywhere. He's also finally saying that he's actually like, that's what's first on his docket is finishing these fucking books. Like he's like, right now, my top priority is finishing Winds of Winter. And I'm encouraged by that.
Fucked up because he's been coming out with books between the new
and he's been working on every single Game of Thrones spinoff, like he's done a lot of other shit with this universe because the money's there, like he's like, well shit, I don't even have to finish the books at this point. They're already doing the shit with it.
Yeah, I think he imagines himself on the Iron Throne, to be honest. He just thinks he's just like the king.
Honestly, I think he is waiting. He's already finished the book. He's just waiting for the day he dies. I can almost guarantee it, that he has written in his will to drop the book when he dies. Like, I bet it's already in legal. I don't know. Yeah. I bet it's already like.
He's still got two more books, he says, till he finishes.
I feel like the ending, it's either going to be so bad, or not bad, but like so hated amongst people that he'd be like, oh, I would die if I did release this book. So I'm going to wait until I am dead before I do. Or
I don't want to know how people receive this.
Exactly. It's just like, I have created the universe, whatever, and I have the way I saw it end. I don't want to know how people, because that's like, that's his entire life. And imagine if everyone took his entire life's work as the show ended and gave it that hate. Like, he'd feel terrible right before he died,
right.
So like, I don't know. I'm almost like 100% sure he's just waiting. He's waiting.
He's waiting. He's waiting. But Ned promises John the next time they see each other, he will tell him about his mother, and then they part their ways. But days later, on the Kingsroad south of the capital, Robert Baratheon calls a halt to discuss with Ned some dire news that has just arrived. Now this is country. I have half a mind to take my horse and leave them all behind. He's like, oh, I know you do. He's like, ha 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 ha. Fucking love Mark Addy as Robert Baratheon again, man. Like, this one's obviously not like, oh, what a jaw-dropping performance, but like, he's so fucking good as that character. Like,
yeah,
now
he fits
like,
it so well.
Every time I hear that delivery, now this is country, you know, like I'm like, God, he's just living life right now, man.
Talk about like, this is just like a halt that he called. Like, they were just on their way to King's Landing. The feast, the dinner that they're having right now, like, it is a feast. I can call it like a feast.
Yeah,
because it's insane. This dude just, he reaps the rewards of being king.
And I think what's funny is he was like, sorry guys, I gotta piss, because that's how this scene starts. He's putting his dick away next to a tree. He's like, yep, all right. He's like, all right, now let's post up, let's have some food. I loved the back and forth they had here about the good old days, the danger in the East. He's like, some Targaryen is wedded a Dothraki horse lord. What of it? He's like, should we send him a present? Yep, a knife, a good sharp one. Let's fucking kill this bitch. And Ned's like, come on now, they're across the narrow sea. They have no ships, Robert. He's like, we're gonna get war soon, buddy. It's coming.
He knew it was coming. It's like, shit, I don't know if I'm gonna deal with it, but
he's like, well, man, I might die.
You think it's like Ned's just actual view of like, maybe you shouldn't actually kill him, or do you think it's like, maybe not try to kill the only remaining family that John has left?
Oh yeah, that's probably that. That's probably
maybe,
that. Oh.
Yeah. That he could have been thinking about that, but just in general, I feel like Ned is not likely to stake revenge on someone who he doesn't even know, someone who has crossed him, offended him.
Has no bearing on his life whatsoever. Like, and I love the way that he's like, shit, they're never gonna cross the sea, and if they do, we'll throw them back out in the fucking water, man. Like, who cares?
Which is how I think that they, like, they're introducing this conflict between the preservation of their system of names, of titles, while at the same time contradicting it with types of logic that doesn't allow someone to be offensive simply because they're alive. That's really the case here. I feel like is the case in multiple instances across the show. Someone is born by the wrong person and they exist, therefore they are in error.
Yep. It happens. I do just love the rest of this back and forth though as well. The what do you say, you, me on the Kingsroad, swords at our sides, a couple of tavern wenches to warm our beds tonight. Like, you should have asked me 20 years ago. We never had a chance to be young, Robert said. And Ned goes, I recall a few chances. I was like, okay, Ned.
All right, Ned. No,
and the way Robert going, there was that one, what was her name? That common girl of yours. Becca, with the great big tits you could bury your face in. He's like, Bessie, and she was one of yours. And he's like, ha ha, Bessie. Thank the gods for Bessie and her tits. God. Outstanding back and forth, but we learn the name of the quote bastard's mother. Must have been some lady to get Lord Ned Stark to forget his honor even for an hour. And he's like, yeah, I'm never going to talk about her again, bro.
That's good.
And frankly, I really liked Robert's rationalization of this. I don't obviously I'm not like, yeah, he's right. But I do think he provides a very important perspective on what most men at the time would think of what Ned did. You know, we were at war. None of us knew if we were going to get back home. You're too hard on yourself. You always have been. And he's like, I swear if I weren't your king, you'd have hit me already. So that's the worst thing about your coronation. I'll never hit you again. Yeah. Robert going, trust me, that's not the worst thing. You're going to die because of it, bro. You gonna die. You gonna die.
Very soon, too.
Yeah, both of them. Within episodes of each other.
Damn.
So much despair.
So much. So much. But back at Winterfell, Catelyn's refusal to leave Bran's side starting to cause problems for the castle. Everyone's having a little bit of a tough time. Maester Luwin's like, so they were pretty hungry down in King's Landing. They wanted foods. They really drained our stores. We need to replenish before the winter. Catelyn being like, nope, fuck you. I don't care.
Fuck you, homie.
You think I give a shit, Maester? My son is right here asleep, and you think I care? It's like I would fucking kill all the horses out there if it meant that my little boy wake up. But Rob's like, all right, I got you. Don't fucking worry, I'm on it. I'm gonna go ahead and handle all this. And this was probably the standout scene very early on for Richard Madden. Like the whole what about Rickon? You know, like he's following me around all day. Like I can't keep doing this. I don't know what to tell him. He's afraid. He feels like everyone's abandoned him. Like, and Catelyn's like, not my problem, bro.
Rickon got the most disrespected I've ever seen a character in maybe any story ever get disrespected. Bro is a Stark, and like, what? We don't even can you name one unique thing about Rickon?
Rickon, yeah. I mean, he certainly can't run in a zigzag. I'll tell you that.
He's pretty unlucky. Yeah, or it's either the shot was really, really good, or he's just really, not good at running.
No, the man just ran
straight. Yeah, that was really. Yeah, he's
no, but that's fucked up. That's a reference point. It's his death.
Right. That's all. Right. Yeah. What else?
What else?
Sorry, but
he named his dog Shaggy Dog, the worst name of a direwolf ever.
Honestly, no, never mind. I'm not going there.
There was a scene that was pretty hilarious when he was trying. I can't remember what was happening, but he was trying to get Bran to stay or something, and he was pleading with Bran.
Whenever they go their separate ways from the tower at one point.
Yeah, and the acting by that kid was just honestly, it was somewhere between awful and mesmerizing.
Maybe that's why he's just such a non-factor.
Yeah, I mean, they got lucky with 5 of the kids, you know? Macy Williams, Sophie Turner.
They could only cast 5 good kid actors. That was all they allowed for. The 6th one
they also they might have been good when they were younger, but you just never knew how they were going to grow up, you know. And I think they fucking nailed it with Macy Williams and Sophie Turner and shit. I can never remember Bran's actor's name. I just never can.
Yeah, it is. Where is he? They always have Tyrion is on the very bottom. Isaac Hempstead, right? Wow.
Yes. And he even grows up to be a great actor. They just could not have foreseen the puberty change he goes through rather abruptly. They were like, dude, you got to sit out a season because nobody's going to believe you grew this fast.
He sat out a whole season?
Pretty much, pretty close to it.
Hey.
Here, let me... now I'm going to check. Because I'm curious. I'm curious.
Yeah, the next time...
He's out. He's not in season 5 at all.
Dang. He did really hit puberty hard, though.
He was already kind of getting there in season 4, where it was oh, he grew up a lot, and then you see him in season 6, and you're like, oh, that's a grown man.
Yeah.
He's playing like a 13-year-old right now. That's a grown man. But Nevertheless, when Rob is here consoling Catelyn, trying to get her to come out, the wolves are howling. She's like, stop, make them stop. I can't take it anymore. And then there's a catch in Rob's throat. Fire. And he goes darting. He gets the guards. They're leaving. And Catelyn protects Bran for a second. And then, you weren't supposed to be here. No one's supposed to be here. That guy comes on in with the good old dagger.
The good old dagger.
The dagger.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
the dagger that we have become mighty familiar with through the last 11 weeks or so because of House of the Dragon.
Now, is it that Cersei gave him that dagger to kill Bran with?
Yeah.
Like, is it known that Cersei had it before?
Well,
Or I guess it would just have been...
It was Littlefinger's. Littlefinger loses it in a tournament to Tyrion. And that's why Tyrion gets framed up. Cersei framed Tyrion here. That's why she chose the dagger.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why she chose this dagger, is because she's framing Tyrion.
I forgot. Okay.
Um,
I'm still in the mind of episode 2. I don't know. Like, I forgot so much of this show.
Yeah, if you ever have questions like that, let me know, because I always read a little bit further ahead too, and that's one I probably wouldn't have remembered the exact lineage of if I didn't get that little reminder from the book.
Mm-hmm. It was over my head.
How did Littlefinger get this shit though? This was Viserys's,
and then Rhaenyra's, and then I don't know.
Who knows? It survived though.
They had like a little estate sale of the Targaryens when Aerys died.
Free stuff. Pick one.
Free stuff. Everybody grab what you want. None of us want.
Are we to understand that that's the only place where the prophecy lives?
Maybe that's the only place where it's like written, but like I don't think it's like. Maybe that's where it's like originally written. I don't think it's like the only place it exists though, because like it's the red woman and stuff who comes in later and is like, oh, the prince who was promised and
that is true. Well, but I remember I'm going to be careful to pay attention to the language they're using when they're describing the prophecy, because from what I remember, I'm not sure of it, but it seemed like the different, there's a couple different religious sects that we're dealing with in this show.
Lord of Light.
They all seem to be saying similar, if not the same things, just slightly differently.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of religion.
Right.
Damn.
Kind of reflecting a very real thing there, and I'm not gonna lie to you though. If I was in the Game of Thrones universe and I've seen the things that these people have seen, ain't no goddamn way I'm not believing in the Lord of Light, man.
Bro, it's right there.
it's right there, bro. The way that like she pulls up to the fucking Battle of Winterfell and she's like, Wingardium Leviosa, and everything like lights on fire.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, so the Lord of Light's a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, shit. Is there any other, like, straight up actual evidence of any other, like, religion working? Not working. I don't want to say it like that. That sounds bad. But, like, any other, like, legitimate, just, like...
I demand proof.
Yeah, like I think that the Lord of Light's really the only one where we're like, oh yeah, they're really being like, yeah, that's the one, that's it.
Lord of Light. I mean the faceless god. What's it called? The god of death. The god of death.
The many-faced god.
Many-faced god. That's what it is. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good. I mean, but I'm not so positive the god of death. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm not so positive the god of death is, so different from the Lord of blood.
This is all spawned from the conversation about the dagger that we're having right now. So, yeah, the assassin, he's, what am I supposed to be here? He attempts to finish Bran off, and to which Daenerys would be like, "What's that mean?" But
Damn.
But Catelyn holds the assassin off for a while. Has to straight up grab the blade of this dagger. That prophecy in her blood now, and holds him off long enough for Bran's direwolf to run up in here and rip this motherfucker's throat out.
Aim at him. He said, "No, no, no,
no, no, no, no, no, no, no, no." Yeah, he got him the fuck up out of there. But I love that scene, especially considering one of the cool differences from the books here is that before Bran fell asleep, he did not get a chance to name his direwolf. So it was like when he woke up, he was like, "Summer, she's Summer," and and it's kind of interesting thinking about the winter is coming, but summer's here. He's got summer right here.
Oh, that is actually kind of cute.
Maybe that's kind of the reason he chose summer. I think that'd be cute. But yeah, she sits there just like, fuck yeah, bathing in this dude's blood. Summer comes up, tries to lick it off her a little bit, climbs up in bed, snuggles next to Bran's like, "Yeah, I got you, homie." And the way she's just like, "Thank you,"
yeah.
She was like moments ago, like, "Fucking kill those animals. I'm done." And then this happens. She's like, "Never mind, bro."
All right, fair enough. Because it is interesting that while Catelyn was getting attacked, Summer's just kind of chilling there, not doing a whole lot. And then right whenever he goes for Bran is whenever. So I guess was Summer in the room the whole time, and then once Bran was attacked, it was like, all right, that's my owner.
Summer wasn't in the room because Summer's who she's hearing howl outside. Robb leaving and opening the door, that was just another example of the weird connection direwolves and their owners have, because he was outside.
I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah,
he was right. Like, all right, I'm on my way. Something's happening to my dude up there. I got to figure this out.
I must protect Master.
Must protect. But traveling north, Jon and Tyrion talk for a moment here, and Jon asks him, "Why must you read so much?" "All right, Jon. How about you look at me and tell me what the fuck you see, okay? Come on now."
You want to know something awesome about the transition to this scene? It comes from Daenerys and Drogo doing it it's where she's not enjoying it this time, and she looks into her dragon eggs to find solace. And then the transition comes from her dragon eggs to a fire that is right in front of him, and then pans up slowly to Jon. And then it just slowly reveals Jon after it goes from Daenerys to the dragon eggs, from the dragon eggs to the fire, and then from the fire to Jon. And it was just like, oh, come the fuck on. Geez.
Beautiful. Love that shit. I love shit like that.
Yeah.
A funny thing from the books compared to this too. Well, one of the interesting things is that Tyrion is reading a Targaryen history, which they point out in the books as well. So another little bit of that scene is that he is not. We don't only get that transition. He is literally reading a book about Targaryens.
Imagine it's about Jon.
Well, it's about Aegon's conquest. He's reading about Aegon's conquest and the dragons and shit. And whenever Tyrion goes, "Look at me and tell me what you see," Jon's much more polite. "Oh, lost our dude. There he is." I wonder how that'll be handled in the old recording.
Oh, did I mess it up?
No, you dipped for half a second. It should be fine.
I was trying to look at the spreadsheet. I think
Oh,
that's
no shit.
one's too many.
Got you.
Hmm.
Yeah, no worries. It says it's still recording. I think
it should be fine.
I think it should be fine. We're just gonna go ahead and commit. Fuck it. But the difference here is that Jon's much more polite in the book. He's like, "Well, you're Tyrion Lannister, Lord of Casterly Rock," and he's like, Tyrion's like, oh, "Shut the fuck up, dude. You're far too kind. What you see is a dwarf. If I had been born a peasant, they might have left me out in the woods to die. But alas, I was born a Lannister of Casterly Rock. Things are expected of me. My father was hand to the king for 20 years. Jon's like, yeah, and your brother killed that king.
Yeah.
Ironic, isn't it?
I did.
He did do that. His whole little, my repulsive nephew will be the king after him. I must do my part to honor my house, wouldn't you agree? My brother has his sword, and I have my mind, and a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone. And I think that will be for the episode.
Damn.
A mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone.
Yeah.
Damn.
I read so much, Jon Snow.
That's a good one. A mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I agree.
That's just a good quote overall. Not even just for the show.
Yeah,
that's just
not
like
just
kind
for
of
the
a
show,
that's
like,
a
yeah.
that just goes hard in general.
Yeah, like read some fucking books. Your mind needs it. Your brain could benefit from it. I've always really liked that quote. Tyrion's just full of those. Just the great fucking quotes. But yeah, they're traveling north. The party is joined by several new recruits, rapers who chose to take the black rather than be castrated. And Tyrion tells them most of them prefer to, head north. I can't remember which is different. The book and the book and the show have like an opposite perspective of this, where Tyrion says the opposite thing, where he's like most choose castration. Like he says that out of like, yeah, that's how bad it is out here. I don't think that was in the show, was it?
I don't
think
think
that was the book.
no.
Yeah.
I think he says most choose the
most
wall.
choose the wall. Yeah, in the book he goes most choose castration. Like
wow,
that's what you're headed towards.
Wow.
And Tyrion tells Jon, the Night's Watch is not the noble institution it once was, with glorious knights defending the realm against the horrors lurking beyond the wall. Yeah, he's like, but come on, Jon, you're smarter than that anyway. You don't believe the shit your wet nurse told you about the Grumpkins and Snarks and other monsters. And I just really loved this whole interaction between Jon and Tyrion, because we don't get a lot of these either. Interactions between Jon and Tyrion. One of the most important discussions of the series comes in the finale between Jon and Tyrion, and it's like, man, like we just come really far with these characters. It's so wild to see them.
Oh, so far. They're all like children, no matter their age in this first season.
Exactly. It's kind of nuts, but later on, they see the wall, and I'm always curious about how far from the wall in that shot where they show the entire wall. Do you think they are?
Very far.
The wall is it varies in size. So
wait, let me pull it up. I have to see, because it looks pretty far. Like it when I'm
takes up the top of the screen, but it looks like they're super far away. So like it's just like it's that fucking big. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because you got like the climbing episodes. That thing is fucking like the elevator ride. How long does it take? It takes like
minutes.
It takes a while to get up there. Like,
oh yeah,
the climb took them.
The climb took half an episode ish.
Yeah, right.
God damn.
Yeah, at least 25 minutes.
Yeah, there's no world where that wasn't made with magic.
And like they're
for sure.
They're far away. They're like not far away, but they're just like it's like you can just see the wall, and it's like it looks average. And then times when you're at the wall and you're just like, that shit is crazy.
Yo,
You
that
look, stand at the base and you look up, you probably end up falling backwards,
exactly.
like trying to look at the top.
They're all intimidated by the wall size. They're like, whoa, holy shit, dude, that's a real big bitch. But back at Winterfell, Catelyn goes to the tower that Bran fell from and is like, huh, interesting. We found him right here. There was a window up there. Curious. I'm going to see what is inside. She goes full Sherlock Holmes with this shit. Does a whole bunch of calculations, gets on up there, finds a blonde hair on the floor, and is like, oh, I found my conclusion, Watson. And it is then that she summons Robb, Theon, Lewin, and Roderick to tell them that she suspects the worst. The Lannisters tried to kill Bran because he might have seen something in the tower. And this whole scene in the book was one I just really, really appreciated because Robb's like, why on earth would they want to kill a little kid? And Catelyn's like, come on now, think about it for like half a second. You got this. And he's like, because it reminds me of like Superman 78, whenever Lex Luthor's like helping his dude and the chick who follow him around like get to conclusions and like, oh, it's gonna kill him, you know, like they're like, holy shit, that's it. Like that's what this kind of reminded me of. And Robb being like, because they don't want him to be able to talk about it when he wakes up.
Yeah.
And Robb and Theon are like, fuck yeah, let's get it, baby. Theon's like, my house owes yours a great debt. If it comes to that, I'm there. And Robb's like, I'll fucking gut the man. He tears his sword out, and Lewin's like, excuse you, we don't know everything. Words of war often lead to acts of war. We don't need that shit right now. We need to figure everything out. I was like, okay, Lewin, coming with the bars. But Catelyn decides that Ned must know the truth immediately and resolves that someone needs to travel south. She's like, any takers? Psych, it'll be me. It shall be me heading south. They're like, no, but what about Rickon? No. How about Bran? I've done all I can for Bran. It's in Lewin's hands now. Sorry and shit. I'm going south, baby. Vacation.
Sorry and shit.
Honestly, that's kind of what. Okay, I was kind of defending Kat before and being like, yeah, no, she's totally right, and being like, no, fuck Ned for leaving. But like here, she's leaving her son that's in a coma that is looking good and things are getting better. But like she's saying fuck that, and the other kid that doesn't even know how to, I don't know, shit. Probably still shits in his diaper at this point. I don't know.
Call the dog Shaggy Dog. Come on now, man.
Like I don't know. This kind of a little messed up for her to leave here too. Like
I can see that for sure, but I tend to think I forgive this one a lot more just because it's her finally getting off her ass. You know, like she's been going through it for months. It's time for her to reclaim that power she's had and go back into the field. You know, like she's like, it's time I do something. You know, I gotta protect this house.
She has been sitting there for a month. Like, even though Bran doesn't know that, you know, like he'll be told that whenever he's woken up. You know, yeah, your mom was here every day, sitting right by your side. So yeah, you know what?
Oh yeah, man. You missed a lot. Your mom heads south because she thinks that Jaime tried to kill you, so she had to tell Dad. And then we haven't heard from her in a while. She thinks that maybe Dad and the girls are going to get killed.
Yeah, I guess Bran can't be too mad because his mother was literally right. Like she literally got it spot on, and Bran probably would want her to do exactly what she's doing. So,
and one day, even if Bran's not told that, he'll know.
He knows everything.
Yeah,
so
he knows exactly what the fuck happened while he was asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck.
But, he knows fucking everything. Yeah, she decides she's going to head south, and Sir Roderick will escort her while Robb remains in Winterfell to rule the castle. And that's where we leave Winterfell for now. And lastly, we're heading on the Kingsroad. We're at the inn where the royal party reaches the inn, and it's a nice stop where we will not stop for the last time. We kind of come through this spot a lot over the course of the show, but Prince Joffrey's bodyguard, Sandor Clegane, the Hound, introduces Sansa to Sir Ilan Payne, the king's headsman, who she will become frighteningly close to because he kills her dad.
Rough.
Yeah, very scary man who's had his tongue taken out on the orders of the Mad King many years ago. Doesn't have a lot to say, so says Joffrey.
Not much.
Yeah, very, very much so. But Joffrey saves Sansa from this unpleasantness. Oh my lady, you mustn't see such things. Come on now, we're gonna go get fucked up. Let's go drink some wine. Takes her for a walk along the riverbank where they hear clanging nearby, wood pattering against each other. And Sansa be like, we should turn back. And Joffrey being like, nothing will hurt you out here, my lady. Let us go. Oh, you hear wood slapping against each other. Stop being a pussy. You ain't got to protect anyone from shit. In fact, you get bitched here in a second. Fuck you, Joffrey.
God, Joffrey just sucks so much.
Dude, he's so fucking terrible.
It's incredible. I would love to have like a heart rate monitor and like a blood pressure monitor. And just whenever he's on screen, because I guarantee my blood legitimately feels like it is fuming, like boiling, whenever I just see him. Like,
I'm getting mad.
I literally, I do just get mad. Just whatever the chemical is for anger.
That amygdala is getting fucked up.
Is that really what it is? That's nuts. Amygdala?
That's a part of the brain that sends senses to. It helps with you.
So my amygdala is popping off right now.
Bang, bang, bang,
saying.
bang.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Wow.
But yeah, it's really fucking it up in there. But they find Arya practicing her sword work with Micah, the butcher's boy. And Joffrey pretends to take offense in Micah using a sword on the sister of his betrothed. He's like, that's my sister. That's my lady sister that you're hurting there. And Arya being like, leave him alone. And Sansa being like, you stay out of this. I was like, that's a bad look on Sansa, bro. This is rough.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, now I remember why I just didn't fuck with her like the first time I watched this. You know what I'm saying? Like the first time I watched this, I was like, it was this moment specifically that put a bad taste in my mouth for Sansa. Like this episode, you know, being like, I didn't see anything. I don't remember. It all happened so fast. Like, hold it down for your sister, boo. I get it, but shit. But yeah, he goes ahead and cuts Micah's face with his sword, lion's tooth. But Arya goes ahead and hits him with a stick on the head. And Joffrey becomes very threatened and decides, you know what? I'm going to swing my sword at this girl. Why not? Big swing.
Arya, like, legitimately did some pretty impressive dodging here.
Oh, yeah.
It should have hit her. You know, she's got the instincts down. But yeah, it's not going well for her. He gets her down. She's got him. He's got her dead to rights, and then Nymeria attacks. Another dire wolf save here, biting Joffrey's arm. Micah runs off. Arya grabs Lion's Tooth and holds it at Joffrey, and Joffrey begs for his life. No, please.
Fuck it,
little bitch boy.
Be glad she didn't just kill you here.
Mm-hmm. For real. How different things would have been if she did. She goes ahead, takes that sword, runs to the river, and throws it on out there. And Sansa goes to Joffrey, oh, my prince, my sweet prince. Look what they did to you. I'm going to make sure everything's okay. Shut the fuck up, wench! Get off me. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I've got things to do.
Oh, fucking
God.
God damn it. I hate that motherfucker.
Even just talking about him. God, I just want to...
Dude.
Man.
But Arya makes her way off with Nymeria, knowing that she will be punished for this, and forces the direwolf to flee. Throws a rock at her, and she's like, runs away. And I'm like, damn. And not the last time we see Nymeria, which is very, very cool. We only get one more look at her, but just a shame they parted ways here. But the gap in the book between her being found and her getting her direwolf to run away is 4 days. Arya was missing in the woods for 4 days before she was brought to the king, according to the book. I don't know if it's the same here, but that's like, it kind of makes Ned's the way Ned is like acting make a little more sense if you go, oh, like this didn't just happen earlier today and he's been worried. It's been an emotional 4 days of them being there, you know, like looking for Arya, but she's been taken before the king, who is angered that this minor quarrel has become a major incident with everyone just blaming each other. This was extremely reminiscent of season 1, episode 7 of House of the Dragon, where the kids got into the fight and they were brought before all the parents, and Viserys is like, "Come on, guys! God damn it! Stop all this goddamn quarreling! Fuck!"
I mean, kind of like Alicent being like, "Well, give me his eye too." Is kind of like Cersei being like, "Well, we have
another wolf.
Okay,
let's just kill that random fucking wolf. How about that?
I'll take it. That my prince's or my son's future wife. I'm gonna kill her wolf."
And when like Ned like bursts in and he's like, "What is the meaning of this?" and like him and Arya embrace, and he's like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry. And he's like, it's okay. Just stay over here." What is the meaning of this? Like the whole scene, he's like practically on the verge of tears, which I think is like a really, really interesting choice from Sean Bean, because it's like he don't fuck around when it comes to his kids, you know, like that was like a.
I think in the show it's more of the same night sort of thing, because so Ned is like he says, "Why wasn't my daughter brought to me at once?" I think if it was 4 days, well, maybe I guess it could make sense. Like, why not after 4 days was my daughter brought to me? Why was she brought to the king? I guess maybe it could. I don't know. I guess it could still be. No matter what,
it's at least been 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the night as compared to
it's
the day.
Been time. Yeah, there's been some time.
Like it's been enough time. Like even after an hour of your child being missing, I'm sure you've reached that point, you know.
Yeah.
But Joffrey offers up a false account of the incident, saying that they attacked her. They attacked him, took his sword and threw it in the river. And they're like, "Do we have a non-biased witness that can corroborate this? Where is Sansa? She's in her bed asleep." "No, she's not. Bring Sansa in." The courtroom gasps. "Oh my stars, she's here. Whatever do we do?" And Sansa's like, "I didn't see anything. I don't remember. It all happened so fast." And Robert being like, "God damn it. She tells me one thing. He tells me another. What am I supposed to do here?" And they ultimately come to the conclusion that the king will discipline his child. Ned should discipline Arya. But Cersei demands, "What about the direwolf?" "Oh, gods be damned, I forgot about the wolf." And she's like, we should put down Nymeria. Nobody can find her, your grace." "Well, we have another one." And Robert just goes, "You know what? Do what you will. I won't have any part of this." Now, what's cool about this in the book is that Ned goes to Robert and goes, "You do it."
The one who gives the sentence should. Oh my fuck! That's sick.
Swing the sword. He goes, "You fucking do it." And then that's when Robert just walks out. And then Ned's like, "All right, a butcher shouldn't do it. It's of the North. I should do it. I'll do it." So I think it would have been cool for them to already put like a little bit of like a wedge between Ned and Robert here, with him being like, "Fine then, you fucking do it, pussy. If this is your ruling, this is what you're gonna do."
Wow, they had the perfect opportunity when he said, "Is this your reign?" You know, like they could have just slipped it in right there. Like,
yeah, how about you fucking do it, man?
Yeah.
But
or is this your command?
Yeah. Another wolf, and he walks on out. Whenever Sansa like turns to Ned and is like, this was like very early on an amazing piece of acting from Sophie Turner. Like Are they talking about Lady? No, not Lady. Lady is good. Like the mix of like fear and sadness and anger in her when she says that is just like, oh god damn. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that only gets way deeper. Way deeper.
Way deeper. But I also like that Arya in this moment is willing to ride for Sansa in a way that Sansa would not have been willing to ride for Arya. Because Arya goes, hey, Lady didn't have shit to do with this. Okay, don't do nothing to Lady. You know, like she's like, no, don't do that. Immediately riding for Sansa after Sansa did not do the same for her. So I was like, okay, I fucks with Arya. But furious, Ned attends to the matter himself. Along his way there, passing the Hound with Micah's bloodied corpse on the back of the horse. Ned, disgusted, it's like, you rode him down. And the Hound's like, well, he ran. Not very fast.
Not very fast.
Rough. But we see Ned with Lady, gives her a few pets and boops. Nice little goodbye for the dog here. And as he cuts the dog's throat, I'm assuming.
What do you do? What is the most humane way, you know?
Yeah, like
in this time period.
I'm not even gonna fucking think about it, homie. I'm gonna tell you
that.
It's what awakens Bran, and this was another couple, like a couple more things book to show. Difference wise is Ned immediately asks Jory, who wasn't really prominent in this episode and actually hung back in Winterfell, I think. He asked Jory has Sansa, and he asked Jory to like take them to their rooms. He tells Jory to like make sure this dog is brought. Take 4 men, send this dog back to Winterfell, and bury it in the north. And he's like, sir, all this for a dog? And he's like, yeah, that fucking bitch of a queen isn't gonna get another pelt today. You know, I'm not gonna let her take this dog's fur. Fuck no. I absolutely love that. And then big difference from book to show is that Bran is having a massive vision quest when he wakes up. He's getting his first visit from the 3-eyed raven in his dreams when he wakes up. It shows him Sir Roderick Cassell bent over a bar, scrambling for his life. Shows him Jon at the wall, freezing his ass off. It shows Ned bent over a bar. Like it shows, like this vision was like very, very telling for Bran early on. And there's a part where he he sees a blonde man that says, "Oh, the things I do for love," and the 3-eyed raven goes, "No, not that. Forget that." Like, nope, you won't remember that. Because Bran doesn't. He doesn't remember it when he wakes up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dang. Man. That's what, I don't know. The books in the show, they have their own. The books are so good, but I don't want to say that they're better than the show, because the show does some things better than the book does.
Yeah,
but the book, I don't know.
There.
Yeah,
I think there's a balance there. It's impossible to achieve the grandiose narrative that George R.R. Martin put in the book in its complete form on screen, or else it's gonna the audiobook for book 1 is over 30 hours. Season 1 of Game of Thrones is 10 hours. You know,
yeah,
we're not getting that much out of it in comparison to the book. That would be the conclusion of the episode, and boy, what a fucking goodie it was. It
was.
Do we have any more favorites to assign before we jump into the rating?
I need a favorite character. And you put Tyrion, I think, Colton, and I was trying to give it to someone else, but god damn, Tyrion he was, I don't know, his conversations with Jon, him at the beginning at breakfast. No, he was my last week. I can't go Tyrion again. Got to go someone else. See, this is why I'm stuck. Oh, fuck it. I'll go Ned.
Always
He
a
was
good.
good. Yeah,
You
Ned,
can't
Ned
go
had
wrong
some
with
good
Ned.
progression. Actually, this episode.
So you're going performance Ned and character Ned.
Yes.
I respect it, as that was what I did last week.
Wow. There we go.
Gotta give Ned his flowers while he can.
Exactly. Precisely. But Tavarus, you got a favorite scene off the top of your head?
Favorite scene?
Or character.
Character, I'm probably gonna go with I don't know. I fucked with Arya in this episode. Arya
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
laying down the law. Gotta
I
fuck
like
with
that.
That's a good bit of foreshadowing there as well. She's just kind of about it. That's clear pretty early. So this is the moment where she shines. But scene, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. I'm not positive yet. Not positive.
All right.
Well,
Then in
Colton's
the meantime,
is Arya and John's goodbye, and mine is John and Ned's goodbye to Kat and Bran. So they're both goodbyes and both very sad parts of the episode. So
I think I'll do John and Ned's goodbye.
yeah, there we go. Full circle. All the goodbyes.
That was a solid scene. You know that a lot of the season kind of hinges on.
For sure.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
that's a line that we don't know the importance of until much later on.
Way a ways. But how about a rating for this bad boy? We got 3 ratings that we take the average of, and it becomes our overall rating for the episode. Out of 10, we've got enjoyment, we've got genre, and we've got critical. And enjoyment, just how much we're digging it personally. Genre, how well it fulfills this fantasy Game of Thrones shit we've come to know. And then critical, all things considered. Writing, direction, acting, and score at moments. Very strong in this episode as well. All those things considered and more, and it becomes the overall rating for the episode after we take the average of them. So let's start with enjoyment. How are we feeling about this one?
I don't think it's a 10 as far as like last episode. We gave it 10. I don't think this one's a 10. Oh, we gave it a 10 genre, 8.5. Never mind. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense now. Even more sense. Well,
because I'm not going to cap with you. Personally, I do think I find myself enjoying this episode more than I like the first episode. I think it takes what the first episode did, it advances on it in a really compelling way. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If I don't like the second episode after that banger of a premiere, I might not push forth with the show. I might just be like, fuck it. You know, like maybe I can drop this. This is the one, they hooked me. They were like, yep, you in it now. You in it. You know?
that's true.
Yeah.
A little late.
I think I don't know. I think like 8.75 or maybe 9 even for enjoyment. Then I think I think I do like it more than episode 1. Because I was like, oh, we gave episode 1 a 10. I don't think this is a perfect 10, but now that seeing that episode 1 is an 8.5, that makes more sense, and I do think I enjoy this episode more than episode 1. Because, I don't know, yeah, episode 1 just set up all the characters, and this episode gave you the juice, like the start of the juice of all the different storylines.
Yeah, I find myself more at that 9, at about a 9 for this one. You know, I do think there have been. Hey, buddy, hi Trenton. We're actually in the home stretch here. We just got to the rating of the episode, so we're 2 hours deep. We're just now getting to the rating of it. We're coming. You're a sweetheart. Then you continue. Then you get a live listen here.
Live listen.
Live audience. But yeah, I'm coming down at about a 9 enjoyment wise.
I can dig.
think I'm sitting somewhere around an 8, to be honest, just because I feel like I want to give space for the way that the show builds itself out, and not that season 1 isn't great, but season 1 doesn't really compare, I feel like, to the best moments of the show.
I think you're right. And that's fair. That's fair. I'd be comfortable bringing that down to about the same as episode 1. I'd even be comfortable dropping down to an 8.25. I just on a personal note, I think that I prefer this episode to episode 1, and in a vacuum, I know that I really, really enjoy watching it.
Oh yeah, no, and the foreshadowing in this episode particularly is elite. It is there.
It's nuts.
No, it's like the same as episode 1.
Okay.
It's like this because like episode 1, you have kind of like the hype behind it too. Like you're starting something new. It's like all fresh and really fun.
Right.
And in this episode, you don't have that at all, but it's still up there. So like it's kind of like, even though the ratings are the same, like the episode itself is better, but it's because like episode 1 just has like that initial boost that starting a new show just automatically kind of has.
No, I feel that. I feel you on that. Then I think that's fair. I think 8.5 is about the right place to come down, splitting what me and Tav are feeling and just going right there in the middle. Genre-wise, what we come to know Game of Thrones as, and fantasy television in general, how are we feeling about this episode?
I mean, as far as fantasy goes, it's not very much fantasy, but that's what's so good about Game of Thrones, right? Like, do we discount its focus on the politics and reality of the universe as opposed to its focus on the fantasy?
No, yeah, see, that's my thing, is that that's why I also considered what we come to know Game of Thrones as. Like, Game of Thrones is more than just fantasy, like it is a family drama wrapped up in fantasy. You know what I'm saying? It is a political drama wrapped up in fantasy. And I think that we get all sides of that. Not all sides of that here. We do obviously have depths that we go to that are a bit more grandiose than this one. But I think it does fairly well. I don't think it's one of the things that I think made Game of Thrones is these small conversations in rooms, which is kind of all this episode is. We don't we're not seeing a lot of action besides dogs biting little prick princes.
What the fuck?
It is interesting. We did give last episode a 10. And I think I actually agree with that. I think partially it was because it was like all these huge characters were all in the same place, like all that. Well, I guess, like, I don't know. Maybe it was more. Well, I think we did say we are rating this as a rewatch.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess, okay, so that is fair to put into the rating.
Yeah, I think it just set the tone so effectively in episode 1. So it's like, now we're just kind of expanding beyond that, and it does a very good job maintaining that tone, but it's nothing groundbreaking as episode 1 kind of felt like. You know what I'm saying? Like so I find myself again around an 8.5. You know what I'm saying? Like it does really well, but it's not all this show becomes. We don't get dragons and we don't get a battle or anything, and those are pretty crucial to fantasy genres, but like we don't even get a throne, like we don't even see shit like that,
There's not much, lore. Like
there's the Kingsroad.
There's not much lore itself.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say like 8.
Okay,
8 sounds fair.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Because that's the thing. Is like 8. It sounds like low to us. Like 8, like, but like it's still very good. That is like still a very like 80%. Like I don't know, it's still very good. Yeah,
you're doing solid. And critically, it probably doesn't rise super far above that. It was a good narrative. The acting was really good. But again, I think we're left with an example of the show where it's finding its visual style, and therein doesn't stand out in a lot of moments visually. I don't think. I think it's just kind of it's not dull, like there's still things that are like, oh yeah, this is beautiful, and it's beautiful in its mundanity, like there's nothing too glorious about it yet. And I think Tim Van Patten did really, really well, but I don't think he's taken a lot of risks early on with this show in terms of trying to branch its style out there. And I think we do get to a point where its style becomes a little bit more bold, and I don't think we're there yet.
I think maybe it's just right on the same line as last episode. Like, again, the acting was great, the story, it's not like we have a super complete arc or anything like that, like a super satisfying beginning to end sort of thing. But it was just like a nice. We get the pace now. It is very slow. We're taking our time. We're really, really getting to know these characters, and it's just another one of those episodes. And it doesn't feel like any conversation was really unimportant, though. Is the thing that's like how that's what Game of Thrones does. Is they can just take what seems like just boring conversation, but somehow it's all important, like exactly. All of it. So yeah, I think maybe it's like on the same level as last episode, if not even a bit more, because I feel like more acting actually had to happen this episode.
I think they went a little harder performance wise, so I'd be willing to give it that 2.5 bump up to 8.25 if you're feeling me there.
I like that. I agree. Cool. Well, if that is it, that averages the episode out to an 8.25.
83% on the tomato meter.
We are actually harsher than IMDb on this one. Given an 8.6 on IMDb for the episode.
There you go.
Wow. Interesting. And that's 38,000 reviews in there. So that's quite.
That's pretty. That's quite the episode. So with us giving it an 83%, that's a pretty damn good episode of television, and there's only room to grow here from Game of Thrones and room to go down. There are episodes worse than this. There are episodes better than this. It's certain, but it was another great one, and I'm so thankful we're covering this week to week. I think thus we conclude this episode of Winter is Blooming. Any parting thoughts on the episode, or are we ready to sign off here?
I think we are ready. I'm trying to see if. Wow. That's season rating. I was trying to see if there was a Rotten Tomato score per episode. Oh no, it is. Yeah, never mind. It's given a 100% by 18 critics.
Wow.
Okay. Very loving on Rotten Tomatoes over there.
Pretty fucking good. But
okay.
Yeah, then I guess with that, we'll conclude this episode of Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast. We'll be back next week for episode 3 titled Lord Snow. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, that's COROBLOOM, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including comic book reviews weekly, book reviews pretty regularly, movie reviews less often. But we, all that extra all that extra content right over there for you for $3 a month. All that money goes back into making sure I can put this podcast on. Costs me money, and I don't make any unless it's over there on patreon.com/CoroBloom. So if you would, head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. If you're fucking with the pod and you're watching Star Wars Andor, we got a few weeks left to cover that. Only 3 episodes left. We're doing that every Wednesday, and every Friday we continue our 52-year journey through film. This Friday brings us to The Big Short. Very, very, as about a fun a film you can make about the housing crisis as possible.
Yeah.
So that's this Friday, The Big Short. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And thank you, the magnificent Tavarus Pennington.
No problem at all. Good to be here.
Oh, it was good to have you back, buddy. It was good to and thank you, Trenton, for listening in for these last few minutes. You're a real one. But with that, remember, peace, love, and bloom. And a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone.